UL markings signify that a product has undergone testing and meets UL safety standards. These standards represent the required minimum safety criteria for the product. However, a UL listing does not automatically guarantee compliance with the National Electrical Code, NEC, or local electrical codes. The authority having jurisdiction, OJ, at the local level retains the ultimate authority to determine what is permissible within their specific jurisdiction. A UL listing does not empower the end user to disregard local electrical codes. It is conceivable that a UL listed item might necessitate supplementary measures to achieve compliance with a local code. For instance, in the scenario of a HEPA filter unit installed above a drop ceiling within a plenum space, Article 408 of the NEC might prohibit cord and plug connections in such locations. Furthermore, cords may be restricted within plenum-rated ceilings. In such instances, solutions might involve extending the power cord from the HEPA filter unit to an outlet situated outside the plenum area. To gain clarity on this matter, it is advisable to consult with the manufacturer of the HEPA filter unit. The manufacturer may offer specific guidance on compliant installation practices, or suggest alternative approaches that align with both the UL listing and the local electrical code requirements. Ensuring adherence to both UL standards and local electrical codes is crucial for a safe and compliant installation. When assessing the installation of electrical equipment like a HEPA filter unit, several NEC articles might be relevant. Consider Article 300.22, which addresses wiring methods and materials in ducts not specifically manufactured for wiring. This section distinguishes between spaces used for environmental air, plenums, and other spaces. It provides specific requirements for wiring methods allowed in these different types of air handling spaces. For example, listed plenum-rated cables and wiring might be required in certain plenum spaces to minimize the spread of fire and smoke. Also consider Article 400, which covers flexible cords and cables. This article outlines permitted uses, ampacities, and limitations on the use of flexible cords. It dictates where flexible cords can and cannot be used as permanent wiring. The NEC might restrict the use of flexible cords in concealed spaces like above suspended ceilings, particularly in plenum spaces, due to fire safety concerns. Additionally, Article 408 pertains to switchboards, switchgear, and panel boards. While seemingly unrelated to a HEPA filter, this article may become relevant if the HEPA filter is connected to a branch circuit originating from a panel board. It is crucial to ensure that the branch circuit supplying the HEPA filter is properly protected by an overcurrent protective device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, sized appropriately for the filter's ampacity. When installing electrical equipment above suspended ceilings, Article 314, which covers junction boxes, pull boxes, and conduit bodies, is relevant. This article provides rules for the installation and support of boxes and conduit bodies, ensuring that they are accessible for inspection and maintenance. Also, consider Article 110, which addresses requirements for electrical installations. This article covers a wide range of topics, including workmanship, equipment installation, and clearances. It requires that electrical equipment be installed in a neat and workmanlike manner and that adequate access and working space be provided around electrical equipment for safe operation and maintenance. To reiterate, a UL listing indicates that a product has been tested and meets UL safety standards. It does not guarantee compliance with the NEC or local electrical codes. The local authority having jurisdiction, OJ, retains the final say on what is allowed in their area. Always consult with the manufacturer for guidance on compliant installation options. Extension cords are a common solution for bringing power to the HEPA filter unit. Ensure that any extension cord used is appropriately sized for the load and is listed for the intended use. Avoid using lightweight extension cords that may be prone to overheating. It is also important to note that some jurisdictions may have specific requirements for extension cords used in commercial or industrial settings. The NEC addresses the use of extension cords in Section 400.8. This section outlines the prohibited uses of flexible cords and cables. For example, flexible cords cannot be used as a substitute for the fixed wiring of a structure, run through holes in walls, ceilings, or floors, or concealed behind building walls, ceilings, or floors. Consult the NEC and local codes for specific requirements. When determining whether a particular HEPA filter unit installation complies with the NEC and local codes, consider these steps. Firstly, review the product's UL listing and any accompanying documentation. This information will provide details on the product's intended use, limitations, and any specific installation requirements. Secondly, consult with the local authority having jurisdiction (OJ) to determine their specific requirements for electrical installations in plenum spaces and above suspended ceilings. They can provide guidance on the applicable codes and standards, as well as any local amendments or interpretations. Thirdly, carefully examine the installation location and identify any potential conflicts with the NEC or local codes. Consider factors such as wiring methods, access to equipment, and the presence of environmental air handling systems. Fourthly, develop a detailed installation plan that addresses any potential code violations and ensures compliance with all applicable requirements. The plan should include the selection of appropriate wiring methods, the proper sizing of overcurrent protection devices, and the provision of adequate access for inspection and maintenance. Fifthly, have the installation inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to verify compliance with the NEC and local codes. The inspector can identify any deficiencies or potential hazards and provide guidance on how to correct them. Remember that electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving. It is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. Consider attending training courses or seminars on electrical safety and code compliance. In addition to the NEC and local codes, other standards may be relevant to the installation of HEPA filter units in clean room environments. These may include standards for air quality, ventilation, and filtration. Ensure that the installation complies with all applicable standards to maintain the integrity of the clean room environment. When selecting a HEPA filter unit for a clean room environment, consider these factors. Filtration efficiency is of utmost importance. Select a filter unit that provides the required level of filtration for the intended application. Airflow capacity is also an important factor. Ensure that the filter unit can provide the necessary airflow to maintain the desired air changes per hour in the clean room. Noise level can be a concern. Select a filter unit that operates quietly to minimize disturbance to personnel working in the clean room. Maintenance requirements should be considered. Select a filter unit that is easy to maintain and service. Cost effectiveness is always a factor, but do not compromise on safety or performance to save money. In summary, UL listing is a valuable indicator of product safety, but it is not a guarantee of NEC compliance. Local authorities having jurisdiction retain the final say on what is allowed in their area. Always consult with the manufacturer for guidance on compliant installation options and ensure that the installation is inspected by a qualified electrical inspector. By following these steps, you can ensure a safe and compliant installation of HEPA filter units in clean room environments. Consider these specific code sections when addressing the installation. Section 300.11 addresses securing and supporting wiring. This section requires that wiring be securely fastened to the building structure and supported independently of suspended ceilings. This is particularly important when installing wiring above suspended ceilings, as it prevents the weight of the wiring from resting on the ceiling grid. Section 314.23 covers the support of boxes and conduit bodies. This section provides detailed requirements for supporting boxes and conduit bodies, ensuring that they are securely fastened to the building structure. The support method must be appropriate for the size and weight of the box or conduit body. Section 314.27 addresses outlet boxes. This section specifies the types of boxes that are permitted for use as outlet boxes. It also provides requirements for the installation of devices, such as receptacles and switches, in outlet boxes. Section 330 covers metal-clad cable type MC. This article specifies the permitted uses and installation requirements for MC cable. MC cable is a common wiring method used in commercial and industrial buildings. Section 392 addresses cable trays. This article provides requirements for the installation of cable trays, which are used to support and route cables in commercial and industrial buildings. Section 430 covers motors, motor circuits, and controllers. This article provides comprehensive requirements for the installation of motors, motor circuits, and controllers. This is relevant because the HEPA filter unit is equipped with 2 fractional horsepower fan motors. Section 602 addresses commercial garages, repair, and storage areas. While seemingly unrelated to a HEPA filter unit, this article may be relevant if the clean room is located in a commercial garage, repair, or storage area. This article contains specific requirements for electrical installations in these types of locations. Section 640 addresses audio signal processing, amplification, and reproduction equipment. This article may be relevant if the clean room contains audio equipment, such as speakers or microphones. This article contains specific requirements for the installation of audio equipment. Section 645 addresses information technology equipment. This article may be relevant if the clean room contains information technology equipment, such as computers or servers. This article contains specific requirements for the installation of information technology equipment. Section 700 addresses emergency systems. This article provides requirements for the installation of emergency systems, such as emergency lighting and fire alarm systems. If the HEPA filter unit is part of an emergency system, this article is relevant. In some cases, the HEPA filter unit could be connected to a generator to continue operations in the event of a power outage. Section 701 addresses legally required standby systems. This article provides requirements for the installation of legally required standby systems, which are systems that are required by law to operate in the event of a power outage. If the HEPA filter unit is part of a legally required standby system, this article is relevant. Section 702 addresses optional standby systems. This article provides requirements for the installation of optional standby systems, which are systems that the owner chooses to install for their own convenience. If the HEPA filter unit is part of an optional standby system, this article is relevant. Section 705 addresses interconnected electric power production sources. This article provides requirements for the interconnection of electric power production sources, such as solar panels or wind turbines, to the electrical grid. If the HEPA filter unit is powered by an interconnected electric power production source, this article is relevant. Section 725 addresses Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 remote control, signaling, and power limited circuits. This article provides requirements for the installation of Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 circuits, which are used for remote control, signaling, and power limited applications. If the HEPA filter unit contains Class 1, Class 2, or Class 3 circuits, this article is relevant. Section 760 addresses fire alarm systems. This article provides requirements for the installation of fire alarm systems. If the HEPA filter unit is part of a fire alarm system, this article is relevant. Ensure the HEPA filter unit is not installed in a manner that obstructs access to other electrical equipment or raceways. Also, consider potential sources of electromagnetic interference (EMI) and install the HEPA filter unit in a location where it will not be affected by EMI from other equipment. Be mindful of the weight of the HEPA filter unit and ensure that the suspended ceiling is capable of supporting the weight. If necessary, reinforce the ceiling grid to provide additional support. Avoid installing the HEPA filter unit in areas where it may be exposed to excessive moisture or humidity. Moisture can damage the filter unit and create a safety hazard. The local authority having jurisdiction may also have specific requirements for the labeling of electrical equipment installed above suspended ceilings. Ensure that the HEPA filter unit is properly labeled to identify its voltage, amperage, and other relevant information. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and maintenance. The manufacturer's instructions will provide specific guidance on how to install the HEPA filter unit in a safe and compliant manner. Regularly inspect the HEPA filter unit to ensure that it is operating properly. Check the filter regularly and replace it as needed. Also, inspect the wiring and connections for any signs of damage or wear.